here today. And can you briefly introduce yourself and what you and your company do?
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Kai, actually, for the invite. My name is Simon. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Felix Norton, which is a gourmet cookie brand here in Montreal, Canada, if you're from somewhere else. And we sell the best cookies in the world. It's that simple.
Awesome, man. Yeah, thanks
Honestly.
for being here. Really appreciate you being here. Can you just briefly describe where you guys were at a few months ago when we started working together and where you're at now in terms of organic revenue growth on the D2C end? Because I know you guys do have a brick and mortar presence as well.
Yeah, we have multiple channels like wholesale, coffee shop, corporate clients and such. So the direct-to-consumer channel by itself, of course, everything we do marketing-wise affect all channels, right? And everything is kind of a flywheel. But so far, since I joined the business in February as a consultant and in May full-time, we were on a trajectory to go for about 45 to 60% growth year over year on the e-com side. So that was the initial trajectory. Now, September with the new store, we're splitting the revenue, I guess. And this is my bet from between the e-com and the store, because we notice a lot of store pickups, like people buying from online and picking up in the store. And we're trending now at a 20%-ish growth year over year, not necessarily period, because for us, we're very seasonal. We're very much so selling around the peak gifting moment of the year. Like right now, it's the office parties, corporate stuff. But yeah, since we started, I would say that just to get back very more granularly on your question, I'm trying to think like, cause I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I'm trying to think like top of mind. The organic side of things has been growing, I think 5 to 7%, if I'm being honest, regarding the keywords, specifically the product that we sell. But nothing against you, Kai. Our shipping is killing us. like we both know this. The shipping is killing us simply because no matter where you are in Canada, it has to reach you as soon as humanly possible. Yeah. It's just the name of the game. So that's why we're very happy to have the store, because people get the cookies almost baked 10 minutes ago versus like getting them next day. So everything is working in the right direction, to be honest.
Cool, man. And can you briefly describe what your SEO process looked like before we started working together, if at all?
Look like?
Right.
So it was a dot on the I guess it was a dot on the plan of life for the team before my time. But basically, we've talked about this briefly a bit earlier today, but SEO for me is like a building brick of the foundation of your business, no matter if it's just e-com or like service business or whatever. It's where you kind of see the best return on investment from everything else too. It's like you get money from actually investing in what you actually do and advertising authentically, like what you do online, because it's a form of advertising. It's just exactly what you do and what you're known for. Like we used to talk in the service business, like about the Google reviews, how good it is for just trust, So
yeah, cool. And I mean, you guys are primarily, you mentioned a handful of channels, right? So yeah. You mentioned that SEO was kind of on the to-do board. So what was like kind of the final decision that made you start to invest in SEO?
I knew at that stage of a business where like there's such a rich history with Felix Norton that it would pop up in the ranking quite easily, maybe more easily than like a new brand from scratch that has no notoriety. Because if you type for fun Felix Norton on Google, you'll see articles since the 1980s, like since 1985, and it was just never really strategically thought about how to drive that to the website. And actually, well, there was no website in 85, obviously, but like there was no strategy between doing the PR and getting something out of it back in the days, right? So my thinking with SEO for us was that, okay, so we're going to drive traffic with ads, we're going to drive traffic with content, with awareness locally, around the store, around the food truck in the old port of Montreal. And I was like, okay, but we need to kind of like track the growth of the interest in the brand. You see you see often on Twitter, people will share like the Google trends, I guess, like, oh my God, this is up, oh, this is up. But these are kind of just arbitrary numbers. And for us, I want to see that in my Google Search Console. I want to see something going up for us in our Google Search Console. I don't care about the trends. I want to see that we are doing better because the work we are doing is actually helping us.
Yeah, awesome. So, like we talked about earlier, you're not a standard brand we work with. One, because you guys have a brick and mortar presence, right? And that's been super interesting on our end, right? It's the only brick and mortar and D2C brand we work with, which has been super fun. And I know you guys mentioned you didn't have an SEO process in place before we started working together. So as far as your thoughts on kind of the delivery, the strategy, and so far the execution of that, what are your just general thoughts on that?
Man, I'm very impressed. Like I think I told you that before, but I'm not your typical customers where I'm like, oh, you need to convince me that what you're going to do is going to help and is nice and it works. I'm a marketer. I've been a marketer for like 8 years. So I know the potential outcome. So I guess my expectations coming in were a bit like skewed toward understanding. Like I understand what it is and what it does, and it's part of the whole, right? But I can totally see like a customer being like, but what is it doing? Like, where's the return, right? Like, I'm sure I don't want to say it's hard to justify, but it's hard to understand when you don't necessarily do marketing in multiple ways. Like some people will have like salespeople, and of course, word of mouth is going to grow from people cold calling people all day, right? So there's all these things that marketing to me is like a flywheel. It's a whole. It's something that spin together, I would say. So to get back on your point, it met my expectations, but mine were where they should have been for a customer that knows what they're buying, you know?
Yeah.
I'd like to think so. I'd like to think so.
Yeah, cool. So we've been working together like a little over 3 months now. I think we're like roughly 100 days in. And we just earlier had a conversation about where you see the business heading in the next 6 to 12 months. Obviously, we're heading into the end of Q4 into Q1.
Yeah.
Where do you see the business heading in the next 6 to 12 months with SEO on the table now?
I would say that like for us is to have more points of sale, to give more accessibility to people to get the product and try it as fresh as possible. It's one thing to sell a food that has preservative in it, but ours doesn't. So the sooner it's baked, the cookie, the sooner you consume, the better your experience is. Like literally, if you can put them in your oven, which is why we're working on the SEO front with the frozen cookie dough, like it's the best experience. Straight off the oven, the house smells amazing, the cookies are insane, and everybody's happy, right? So I would say more points of sale to drive more awareness to the way to use and consume the product. That's what we've been working on a bit with the backlinking and the PR links. Like it's how to get the best out of what we sell, to be honest. That's where my head is at in terms of what's the SEO gonna help us drive more qualified traffic to the site. And it's not right now, I'm not just chilling on your services. I'm just saying like it's very important for actually bringing some factual awareness to customers about what you are doing different versus, well, you, the brand, like versus other people and other competitors, right?
Yeah, cool. Yeah, definitely. I'm excited to get to work for the next few months and years with you guys. It'll be exciting. If someone was on the fence, another brand, for example, was on the fence with working with me and our team, anything you might have to say to them?
Don't be. Well, don't be, but it depends on where they are, right? Because of course there's a price and a moment to everything. I think if they're on the fence, they need to understand more of the holistic value of SEO. I'm not just confident about it, but like I'm sure and I'm convinced that it's part of your digital hygiene, I would say. It's something that you need to put in your house foundation. Like it's kind of like, it's not even like a gut feeling if it's gonna work or not. It's just a logical step in your digital marketing strategy. It's kind of like not even a question in my head. And your team is doing fantastic work. You guys are sharp, no wasted time doing meetings all the time. And yeah, it's super transparent and the work is getting done. I don't have to chase you. Fuck. Like, I don't have to chase you. Like it's more of that, please. Yeah. More partners like that.
Cool, man. Yeah, I appreciate that. Any final thoughts on where things are at, where they're headed?
I would say it's a lot of fun. Like you said, we're heading into Q4 right now, beginning of November. For us, it's different because we're not selling a good that's going to be a gift, I guess, for Christmas. So we're not really in the let's get the best deal of the year for you, but we're still going to offer some bundle pricing for our customers. But it's a different thing for us since we're selling foods. It's like we're going to be there on your kitchen table on Christmas Eve, obviously, or hopefully for people in Canada. Sorry about that for my guys in the US right now. Sorry, Ben. And yeah, I would say it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be it's already very tiring and it's not even started yet. So that's what I like.
Yeah, of course. Awesome, man. Well, looking forward to Q4 and obviously every month after that. And thanks, looking to get up to Canada at some point to try out some of these cookies.
You should.
Cool, man. All right. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Pleasure.